Welcome to the Global Business Talk Show. My name is Gina, and it is always a pleasure to be with you. I can be reached at 954-638-8321. I'm the Vice President of the Haitian American Chamber of Commerce. It's always my pleasure to bring you information, to bring you the best, to bring you the authority, to bring you the guru in the community to talk about what's important for you, what's important for your business. The importance of saying no man is an island has been proved to be the reason why many of us needs to make a collective effort in the bid of achieving professional success. For many people who have been very successful in their career, they say it has largely been because they have strong networking channels that they have created over time. And for this, today I'm bringing you somebody, wherever you go, you see him. Why? Because he has that phrase that's his trademark. No one can touch it. Some could borrow it, but he is trademarked in the United States. And how do you notice that he's everywhere? It's because he networks. So today, I have the pleasure of having with me Mr. Bombagay. You
Bye
cannot
guys.
miss him, as he says, Bombagay. And I remember many, many years before I met him, before I actually met him, I knew Bombagay. And as I myself, I am a very big networker. I do believe in networking. So I'll be at an event, and if I hear somebody says Bomba Guy, I'll turn around to make sure that it's not him. Welcome, Max. Thank you so much for being with me today. How are you?
I'm blessed and highly favored. How about yourself?
Blessed as well. We're gonna talk for 15 minutes about something that
Okay.
I think it's super important, and I'm so excited talking about it because it's something that I enjoy, and you enjoy it as well.
Well, we met
Networking.
we met through networking.
Correct. Exactly. So tell us, Max. How was your first feeling about networking? When somebody says you need to network, were you the type of person who would say, "Oh man, I don't have time for this. Like I got an office to run." Were
You see,
you ever so reluctant towards
he-
networking?
here's the biggest part for me. That word was like a no-no for me for many reasons. Remember, I was the shy guy. Now,
Ah,
if you say networking, I'll be the guy that stays in one place and not working the room until I got more value of what networking was.
yes.
You see, a lot of times people will go to a networking event and they're sitting in one location or they're just there speaking to one person. And friends of mine, like in the acting industry, okay, I did acting back in college.
Mhm.
And some people say, man, you've done it all. I said, no, not all. I still haven't been president yet. I've been president of clubs, but not a countries yet. Since I heard that I would fit the profile,
Mhm.
the head. But anyway, networking, what it was for me initially, was a place that I would go and hope people would come talk to me. And I got that was not the case.
Hmm.
Networking, this is when you get to work the room. Now, you have what we call that 15-second elevator speech, or even 30-second, if I want to say it. If
Mhm.
you can say what you do under 60-second, you're good, because then you can work that room and be able to separate again that word suspect from the prospects, and you'll know who you can deal with, who you may not want to deal with.
Sure.
And I have one of my coach, he taught me a technique that is so great that I always have that till today. You might see me with a bunch of little pouch, money pouch. He call it the money bag. For
Hmm.
you to have a money bag, you need to have the small envelopes, thank you cards or white cards to say thank you, and stamps. Why? Because when you meet somebody, the quicker you can actually reach out to them, even if it's in the event that they are, they will say, "Sir, we have a message for you." Since you're staying at the hotel, if you went to a hotel, or by the time the person get to their business the next day, they get a thank you card that says, hey, thank you. It was great that we had an opportunity to speak to you, but you have that person in the database. So when we talk about lead generation, networking event, this is the platform where you can actually start doing what? Getting leads, speaking more to people that may be like-minded, or people you never know who knows who, and who's going to get you to who's going to get you to that next step, because that 6 degrees of separation, everybody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows you or me, you will be so surprised that you're just a few meets away from your next either sale, next deal, next husband or wife, whatever the case is.
Whatever you're looking for.
Whatever you're looking for.
Okay.
Your next training program. That's the whole idea. That's why we call it network. And a lot of people hear those little words. Your network is going to be determine your net worth. They work hand in hand.
That's right.
So
your net worth is determined by your network. Max, let me shoot at you some questions, and you're gonna tell me yes, no, and you could give me an example.
Yeah.
Do you think that networking is an avenue for new opportunities?
Yes, networking is an avenue for new opportunities. Now, since COVID happens, we're doing it virtually now. They said that a Zoom can never replace a room, but at the rate that people are dying, of course, we want to still be careful. The very fact that we could say some Zoom are replacing rooms, but that energy that you get by being in a room with like-minded individual, we still haven't been able to really recreate that on Zoom. It's not the same. So yes, networking has the ability to create opportunities. And I'll expand even more on that. I was surprised you say 15 minutes. I'm like, shh, I could cheap in and it's 15 minutes.
I was surprised that you said 6 degrees of separation, because between us it's 3 degrees of separation. We know people who just know people, period.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. So to go back on that, it's so amazing when we talk about networking. So there's something that's called the 5 technology for accomplishment. So when you meet somebody, the first thing you want to do is get related real quick. So some people, they use the thing that's called form, basically family, occupation, recreation, and M. I never could know what M means, but really it's a whole form thing. So people use that to be able to get related or create relatedness to people right away. So once relatedness happens, so what it does, it creates a possibility. The possibility of doing the next deal, or we're gonna jump in some real estate venture together, or whatever the case is. Once the possibility is established, then it creates opportunity. So unless you have an opportunity, you can never go from relatedness into action. That's why most activities fail. A lot of times people want to meet somebody, get related, and not creating the possibility, not creating the opportunity for action to be taken.
They just want to take.
Yes, because so basically it's relatedness, possibility, opportunity, action, and then of course completion. That's why we call it the 5 technology for accomplishment. That's all networking.
That's right.
Is about.
Next question. Would you say that when you go out and then you meet, I'm not going to name the few important people that you have met, do you think it makes you reassess your qualification? Like it gives you that ambition where, like, this guy does this, so I could better myself to be to that level?
Well, that's the thing. You see, they say iron sharpen the iron. Mm-hmm. The minute that the person sees you in the same venue,
you are being elbowed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the minute they see you in the same venue as them, the first thing that they realize, okay, if he's in the same venue, he must belong. Mm-hmm. Who invited them? Or they must know somebody that gets them to be there.
So would you say that it also gives you leverage, and it also in the future, as you establish and cultivate those relationships, it improves your creative intellect.
Well, of course, imagine the networking event in itself. Let's say some of the stuff you've done, it's music. The person is in the mood. Guess what? Don't you see a lot of big business owners when they're about to do certain deals, they always like to take you out to eat?
I don't know. Everybody takes me out to eat all the time.
You know why? It's because they want you to be in a good mood, good music, good drink, good everything. Then you start saying yes to everything.
Max, you're giving away our secrets, because this was the platform for me when I wanted for people in the community. Though we are the Haitian American Chamber of Commerce, but we do business with other communities in the Caribbean or in Africa, all over the world. We wanted to create a platform where somebody could feel comfortable with somebody else, and that's how we created the jazz series, because we feel like there was no boundaries, because it gives you that feel good feeling. So I'm here, I'm having a drink, I'm listening to jazz. Anybody who's here listening to jazz and having a drink, I would say I already have 1 point of the good people.
Exactly.
And then we can cultivate it further.
Let me tell you, it's also an icebreaker. Man, that sounds so good. I love the
groove. And
imagine, like, I was going out of town one time and I listened to the whole series of Berlo. That guy is an inspirational guy for me. He's for me is like a prophet. And when he speaks, it goes into my core and it gives me the sense to re-loving where I'm from, to know that I'm from a place that's magical. And it gets me connected. And I say, if I ever have like a load of funds that's discretionary funds, I know who I'm going to give it to, because he convinced me through his writing, through his singing, and he's doing it.
And you know, it's really intentional that we select the people that we select to do those events and to create that networking environment that gives you opportunity. Yes,
yeah.
It brings you, it creates the atmosphere, but it also, to me, when you attend those networking events, it helps you grow your self-confidence. People are always surprised that I'm always so excited about Haiti. I think even if they were just to pull a match and then put the whole country in fire, I still feel like, I'm on fire.
Well, Jinan, what we have is the respect. When the person sees you in those type of environment, and that's why a lot of people don't understand, they say to you, and there's little cliche words when they says that 90% of success is showing up. There's some cases you could show up way too much, but you decide where you want to show up. Some people think they need to show up everywhere.
True.
Oh, you want to be specific and intentional about showing up where you need to show up, because you see, you're judged by the places that you go and who you frequent, that you really get in contact with. So what I got through coming to your events, your networking events, is the respect that most people didn't know to give to me, because they thought I was just another voice on the radio.
Yes.
They thought I was just this guy that's in there. And guess what? Because you invited me to those events, other people invite me to their events so that they can raise the level of their events. Because they're like,
Max was there.
Yeah, that's the perceived authority. No matter what, if even I say I'm not gonna show up, says this cannot happen without you. You got your fans there. The minute you come in, you say "Bomba guy," everybody's gonna start yelling, and then that's the thing. That's celebrity effect.
And I don't start an event without Max being there, because I know for sure he's gonna be there, and I know for sure he's gonna be there on time. So if that 15 minutes of wait that you've been experienced, it's because Max is not there yet, because I know for a fact that he's there because you understand the value of marketing and how it's done matter, because the consistency in which we do the events, as you were talking about which event you show, when you get to meet those high profile, and I call them high profile because they bring their soul, they bring their culture, they bring everything that they have. That's the best of the best. It helps you learn to develop long-lasting relationship. So somebody will never say, "I'm tired of Willow." because we know
No.
who he brings. Somebody
Yeah.
will never say, I'm tired of Vitova. We know the crowd that he brings, you know?
CJ, another thing what they do, because they know they've been there before, they always go above and beyond to top it and top it to bring it to the next level. Let me give you an example of what I've received from attending those networking events. When I go to the embassy, I get treated differently. I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, this is a guy that we've seen before. You'll be so surprised that people are watching.
They notice. My mom always say that.
They're
People are
watching.
all, she
Like,
said,
I noticed
always
I've
be
seen
careful,
you
they're
somewhere.
watching.
They always saying, "I've seen you somewhere," and that's the thing. So, it literally it really allows you to be who you're gonna be for the world and the community. And if you decide that, I'll tell you this. And I was looking for the item. I have a new business that I started, and you'll always say, "Man, you're always starting new businesses." Well, guess what? One thing I love about the business is they're all connected with one another. It's in
And
the
there's a,
lending business.
and sorry to cut you off. And there's nothing wrong. People used to make me feel bad at, is there anything that you don't do, TJ? I said, well, I don't sell drugs. However, the owner of Publix has invested in real estate. The owner of AutoNation has Jimmy Moran, has Republic Services, has AutoNation.
Yep.
You need to have versatility. You
Yes.
know, I
Yeah.
don't bring the same artists to all the networking events, so obviously I'm into different businesses as well.
The one thing that I remember is probably the very first event I've been to that marked me for the rest of my life. It got me connected back to what my dad always taught me. He said only if, and it was Policar.
Yes.
My dad told me if our people knew the value of our sound, they didn't even have to speak. Our sound sell itself.
True.
So that's
True.
the talk of an artist. So when he told me that, and it got me, and then that's why one of the artists came to our office, and I showed him all his stuff. It's like he got all that
Autograph.
stuff, all the stuff he autographed, all this. So he had no problem spending whatever in the office because he knew that whoever that runs this office invested in me. So that day when he was at the event, that extra few hundreds that he got, he knew where it came from.
From
So therefore,
those,
that
those
person
cities.
carte blanche. Yeah, I can invest in them because they see value in my work, and
And
that's
that,
one of the things people don't get.
yeah,
So I was going somewhere with that little piece of thing. You see the power that you have when you are in the networking process. So those guys, they invented what we call the rule of 56.
okay.
Rule of 56, here's what that means. You send out 25 letters to 25 investor, business owner, blah, 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 real estate investor. You make 25 calls, so that's 50. You attend 2 networking event. You hear that? 2 networking event. You write um, 2 policy, and you get 4 referrals, something like that, or 2 policies and 2 something else. So basically, it made it 56. So you write 2 policy, okay, and you get 2 contracts, and then you get 2 referrals. Now that came down to 56. So he said, if you do that every week for the next 52 weeks, there's no reason for you not to have 6-figure in your business. He said, guess what? 25 sales letter to 25 business owners or whatever the case is who are into real estate investing. 25 calls. That's 50. 2 contracts. 2 deals, 2 referrals. That's 56. When he says the rule of 56, if you big and bold, you can do it. You could do it per day. All it will do, there'll be a shortcut in your success. What you would have gotten 52 weeks, you ended up getting it in 52 days because you were intentional with your lead generation process. So that's why the event is important, because at the event is going to give you the next 25 people you can actually send a letter to. What type of event? You go to an event like real estate seminars, they all around. This is what it is about connecting with people through those networking events, because you know those people are there to sell you something. You know you're there to get the leads. So once you're intentional about what you're on, and the biggest mistake most people have done, as I've done it too, is I've have a load of card that you never followed up with.
Oh, gee.
That's like that's the biggest sin of the world.
We have to do a show just on how to fix this issue.
Oh, that cost people millions before.
You said
I
you have
told
a
the next
load.
guy,
You said you have a load.
load.
I have about 11,000 contacts on my LinkedIn, over 30 on my emails, and they separated. And I still have a shoebox that I'm trying to get into my database. So, Max, I don't know how to thank you. Last word for networking, beside the fact that you miss our networking events, but we're working on an hybrid. Semi, it's in presence and also virtual. So basically, here's how I'm gonna put it: chamber members will be allowed to come to my events, and the other people will get to see it virtually.
Hey, you know me. When it's on ground, I am all for it, because that's something that's very important for me. To really be in the presence, because showing up represent 90% of the success of everything I do.
That's right. You have to be present. You have to be present. But we're gonna follow the guidelines of social distancing, because there it is. Max just said it. Be intentional in your networking, because your network is your net worth. Thank you so
Amen.
much, Max. Thank you so much for being with me, and then we'll hear more about the importance of networking with Paul.
Bon, bye, guy.